Hey folks, welcome to part 3 of my video series, Disproving Evolution. I just want to clarify something at this point. When I say disproving evolution, it's not just the theory of evolution, it will also be all evolutionist theories like the Big Bang and that the Earth is 4.5 billion years old and stuff like that. So it's not just that men evolved from monkeys, it's all the other stuff that evolutionists believe. So just wanted to clarify that. Okay, so back to evolution. Now, in the previous video, I was talking about cosmic evolution. I'm going to be continuing that right now. So, I'm also going to be going into the realms of stellar and planetary evolution, because cosmic evolution and stellar and planetary evolution are pretty much like linked into one. So, now nobody could really say they know how the planets or the stars came to form. It's never been observed, no one's ever seen it happen, it's just speculation. But science textbooks do state that they know how this happened. But how could they know this? Like I said, it's never been observed, there's no way of telling exactly how they formed. Now a simple solution would be to accept that God created everything. Nobody knows how he did it. It would be impossible some would say it would be impossible for him to have done it. Jesus walked on water. Maybe God can create the heaven and the earth. Some people, I think the reason some people don't believe that is because they don't want to believe it, because they're scared of what awaits them after this life, and they don't want to be accountable to their creator. So, now, evolutionists will look up at the sky at night, see all the billions of stars that we have in the galaxy, and think, well, the Milky Way galaxy has life here on Earth, so there must be some other life forms out there. But if the Big Bang theory is true, random chance can't produce a planet capable of sustaining life. Now scientists for years have been trying to find water on other planets, but there cannot be water on any other planets. I'm going to show you why that is. Now, there's a small zone around each main star, or each star in a galaxy, called the habitable zone. And this is the only area where liquid water would be possible. Our Earth just so happens to be in a perfect orbit around that zone. If the Earth was 5% closer to the Sun, then the Earth temperatures would rocket. Temperatures would be hundreds of degrees centigrade, just like Venus, making liquid water and thus life impossible. If the Earth was 5% away from the Sun, then we would all freeze like Mars again, making water and life impossible. Now there's only one room for one planet on this habitable zone, and that's the only planet where there can be liquid water. So for every star in the galaxy, only one planet in its orbit can have liquid water. But not all the stars in the galaxy are capable of sustaining life, even on the planets in the habitable zone. Now we orbit what is called a spectral type G2 dwarf main sequence star. Now it's bigger than 90% of the stars in our galaxy, but it's only just big enough to be able to accommodate life. Now, if the Sun was slightly smaller, the habitable zone would be slightly smaller, and so the Earth would have to be closer to the Sun. This would increase the gravitational field strength, making the orbit around the Sun sink, and freezing one side of the Earth and frying the other. So life would be impossible. It would be half Mars, half Venus. So that excludes 90% of the stars in our galaxy as being capable of sustaining life. Now the other 10% that can sustain life are all towards the center of the Earth, where there is a center of the galaxy, sorry, where there is a large concentration of black holes. Therefore, life could not be possible in this region. Now, our moon exerts a gravitational pull that regulates the Earth's climate by stabilizing its tilt, thereby circulating the warm water and cold water of the oceans. Without that, we couldn't survive. Now, because the moon can eclipse the sun so perfectly in a solar eclipse, we can measure the constituency of the sun and the materials and elements on its surface. We do this by observing the little arc, called the chromosphere, at the moment of total eclipse. Now, the moon fits over the sun so perfectly from our view that it makes it possible to observe the surface of the sun, but if the moon was too big or too small, then this would be impossible. But because of the vantage point of the moon from the Earth, it does fit perfectly. The chances of this happening are 1 in a trillion. Now, our planet is made from magnesium, iron, and oxygen, which are all higher elements that can't be found at the outer reaches of the galaxy. So there must be only a single habitable zone in our galaxy, and that's where the Earth is, right in the middle of our habitable zone. And we've already been through the other reasons as to why there can only be one habitable zone and one planet in it. Now, we live in a universe based on rules and restrictions. All of these rules are based on the restrictions which make on what makes life possible. Now, all of these rules have to be met to utter perfection, 100% completely. Otherwise, life would not be possible. Now, we can, by studying the stars, the galaxy, and everything, we can build up a list of these rules and the factors which are necessary for life. Now, all these factors have to be met at the same time, 100% completely right. With each rule that we find, the chances of life happening by chance become more and more small. Now, there are 15 of these factors necessary for life, and each one of them has a 1 in 10 chance of happening to 100% perfection. Now, any good mathematician knows that in order to find the probability of something and something else happening, you have to multiply the probabilities. 15 of these things have to happen at once. 1 in 10 times 15. That's not even sure what the number is. I think it would be 100 trillion. So there's a 1 in 100 trillion chance of life randomly happening. So I think that gives you a pretty clear picture of why the Earth could not happen by chance. Okay, so that's the end of video 3 in my video series. In video 4 I'll be talking about abiogenesis, spontaneous generation, and why it could not have happened. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.